What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you are having a great one, and let's get started on the OBS. So today we are gonna work on basically getting the whole back half of the truck ready to throw the bed back on this so we can have this thing fully finished and we can go and take it on a real test drive. And it's really not that much that we gotta do. The main things that I want to do in today's video is I want to switch out the little screens on the pickups inside of the tanks, inside of both tanks. I want to do that. I want to install my airbags back on this, and then I want to switch out the filters on the IRIT diesel performance fuel pump, diesel pump, yeah, on that thing. Sorry, every now and then I forget what things are called. But yeah, it shouldn't be that bad. So let's get right to it. Okay, guys, so the first thing that I did was vacuum out this whole area around the fuel tank, because once you take this off, you don't want any of that dirt or whatever falling into your tank. And actually, once we kind of beat this loose a little bit, I'm gonna come back and vacuum it one more time right before we actually open it. But right now, what we're gonna do is take off these little clips off of the lines. It's pretty easy. Usually all I do is take a screwdriver and just pry them off. Like I said, pretty easy. Now, to actually disconnect the actual line, you need a special tool for that. You can get these at AutoZone. That's where I picked this one up. They're about 10, 12 bucks. But basically, as you can see, there's two sizes. And one's for your pickup, and the other one's for your return. And you can match them up with your actual hose. And the way that these work is you open them up like this, and then kind of pry them in. These things have these like little clips inside of them. So all of this is doing is just opening up those clips so that you can actually remove your fuel line. Every now and then you might have to tap. You might have to tap on it a little bit too. There we go. Got one off. Made a mess like always. And same deal for the other line. Just flip it around. Shit. So I don't know if you caught that, but I made a mistake. You do want to depressurize your tank. I think mine, as you can see, has a very kinked vent hose on it, and I didn't realize that. So when I took off that feed hose, this thing just started gushing diesel at me. So it'd be a pretty good idea to undo your cap to make sure that you get all that pressure out of the tank so that you don't make this mess that I did. So anyways, now that we have that off, we are gonna undo the actual harness, which is right there. And then we'll be ready to actually pull out this thing and switch out the screens. Which I realized that I've been a horrible YouTuber. I haven't actually told you why I am replacing the screens. Basically, the reason why I'm gonna replace the screens is because over time they can become clogged or just, dirty. They're screens, so they're basically a little filter, and periodically you gotta replace them. So now it's the perfect time for me to do it, because obviously I have 100% access to these things, super easy with the bed off. And another thing is that, I don't know if you noticed on my startups, but that thing is super loud. And I've been told it's normal. I've also been told that it could be because of those screens. And actually, if you go on IRIT's diesel on their site, they do recommend that you switch out those screens, which I have somewhere over here. I'll show them to you in a little bit. And it shouldn't be, like I said, it shouldn't be that hard. So I'm gonna go ahead, take that out, replace the screens on both tanks. And hopefully that will help with the noise. Okay, so now that we have our harness unplugged, we can actually go ahead and remove the pickup unit. And the way that I like doing it is with a chisel, a screwdriver, or anything that you don't mind hitting on with a hammer. And the way that you do it is you place it on these little ribs, and then you just tap it. And that right there we'll break it free. And we are good to go. So now this is the actual part that we're interested in. This is the screen that we gotta replace. And to be honest with you, it's actually not that bad. It looks like it's still in pretty decent shape. But like I said, this is the perfect time to do it because the entire bed is off, so we have really good access to it right now. So I might as well do it. I'm gonna grab the new one, pull that one out, and then probably throw a flashlight down in there and see if it's pretty clean. If not, we might have to actually clean this whole thing, which I really don't want to do. So here is the new piece. It is a, in fact, a dormant part. That's the part number if you want to buy one for yourself. I'll also leave a link down below. And it should be pretty straightforward. I believe you just pull that out and then throw this one in there. So we're gonna go ahead and give that a try. All right, perfect. That was the easiest install I think I've ever done on this thing. So now, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead, drop a light in there, make sure that it looks clean, and then we'll put this whole thing back together. Okay, so this thing actually looks pretty darn clean in there. Since thankfully it's nice and clean, we're gonna put this whole thing back together, which is basically just the opposite of taking it apart. You want to make sure that you get a pretty good seal on this. Now you want to make sure that this thing's fully seated and it's got like little slots or something that hold it in place, in the right place. So you want to make sure that it's actually on those. And the way that you can tell is by trying to jiggle it and to make sure that it doesn't actually, you know, move on you. So it should be pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing tight. And just like before, we are gonna tap it a couple times just to make sure that it's nice and tight. All right, that should be pretty good. Now we can hook up all of our lines, the harness, and we'll be completely done with the front tank. Now, as you can see, installation of the lines is way easier than actually removing them. But yeah, just like that, we are done with the front tank. Okay, so I just finished with the rear tank, and I didn't film it because it was honestly the same thing as the front one. It literally took me like 2 minutes to do. The only thing that's slightly different is obviously, like I said, this I guess lock ring, instead of being that big plastic one, it is actually this little metal ring, but it's the same concept. You have these little tabs right here that you will use to tap on. So you tap on it back to, you know, take it off, and then you'll tap on it the other way to get it tight, which is what I'm gonna do right now. And there we go, we are done. So we're gonna go ahead and hook up our little harness, little plug. There we go, that's plugged in. And then our fuel lines. One thing that I forgot to mention on the front is don't forget to put these clips back on. Now, they are actually slightly different. I don't know if you can tell, but you'll have your feed and your return. Make sure that you put them on in that order, because if not, you will be fighting it for a while. And just like that, we're basically done with the screens. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the actual filters on the pump. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna undo this little valve to drain whatever water might have been in there, which wasn't much. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and remove the actual filter. Now make sure that you go the right way, or else you'll probably not take it off. So the filter was not coming off, so I used the same trick that I've showed you guys before on the oil filter. I just tapped a screwdriver straight through this thing and used it as a handle. You could obviously also use a like an oil filter wrench on it. Unfortunately, I don't have one of those, to be honest with you guys. There we go. Now on the water separator, it has this little O-ring on the threads. You want to make sure that you take that off if your filter comes with a new one, which mine does. Go ahead and clean up all this stuff back over here. Make sure that the mating surfaces are nice and clean. That is looking awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the water separator on. And here is that new O-ring. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on first. And then we are gonna throw the actual little water separator on. Okay. Okay, this is closed. Now we'll throw on the actual filter. There we go. That is it. And I'm gonna use a little bit of spent diesel to clean this little filter housing. Just a little bit, make it look nice. That's good enough for me. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and cycle the key on a couple times just to fill up those filters. Now, believe it or not, it actually sounds quieter than it did before. That's actually crazy. I guess those screens were bad, because when I looked at them, they looked like they were in pretty good shape. But this thing actually is quieter. That's actually quite surprising. Never mind, there it is. Our field pressure is good. It's basically back to normal. And I take back what I said. It's just as loud as it was before. I guess that's just the way those pumps are. Now, I'm actually thinking about switching to a whole different pump setup. Maybe like a Fast or an Air Dog. So let me know what you guys think. Should I keep this IRA? Like, to be honest with you guys, I've been super happy with it. I would recommend it to anybody. Like I said, it is loud, but it has never let me down. It's worked perfectly fine. I know a few friends of mine that have had this setup. I've had it leak on them, but I mean, it might have leaked a little bit on me, but it hasn't actually like leaked like a drip or anything like that. You know, it's been pretty good. But I do want to try something else, like I said, maybe like a Fast or an Air Dog. I know people have their opinions on both of them, on what's better or what's not. I want to try it out and see if I like it, you know, 'cause that's the way that I am. At first, I bought this skid because it was the only like actual complete EFI. Actually, no, never mind. It wasn't the actual. Sorry, I know that's super loud. It wasn't the first complete EFI kit. There's quite a few of them. But it's the one that I liked the best. It was the one at the best price. It looked really good, really complete. So that's what I went with. And also there was, at the time that I bought this, there were no kits that I was aware of that already came with the Fast or an Air Dog. So you always had to go with kind of a setup like this. Like I said, this to me is the cleanest e-fuel setup for the OBS trucks. I love this like filter block. It looks super, super good. I just wish that the pump wasn't so loud. And I know that either Fast or Air Dog has some new pumps that are like super quiet, and they're probably better than these, like flow better than it. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna look into those maybe in the near future or not so near. Try and get one of those for this truck and see how it does. But yeah, actually, this video has now gone on for a little bit longer than I was expecting it to. So I think we're gonna cut it off right here for today. And then we'll do the airbag install with the bed install. I actually have a few little things that I wanna do for the bed install. I was on Instagram. Instagram is a horrible place to be because there are so many cool builds and people doing so many cool things to it. And I was scrolling through it and I'm following this guy. I believe it's let me see. Oh wait, my phone is dead. Of course, but it's something like POWERSTROKE OBS 96 or something like that. I'll leave that link, or I'll leave his link and his channel name over here. But he found a solution for a problem that I've had on my bed for the longest time, and it's actually pretty cool. Pretty simple. So as far as I know, OBS beds didn't come with tie downs, and it is one of the things that I hate the most about them. That, you know, whenever you throw something in the back, there's really no good way of tying it down. And basically the way that I had been doing it before, I've been using these little, you know, circles to tie down to. But I saw a post that he did where he installed these little rings or whatever on the bed bolts. So like on these things right here, which I'm gonna have to dig mine out because it is under some bed liner, which shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, he installed these, and I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'm gonna do 6 of them. So on each bed bolt, it's gonna get one of these, and then on the side of the bed, well, more like on the corners, I'm gonna install these little tie downs. So these are basically what come in the newer trucks. Like my my father-in-law's newer F-150 has these, as well as my brother's. And I think these are super handy. So these will get installed basically like somewhere over here, like that. So the combination of these little rings on the actual, like the floor of the bed, and then these on the walls, I think that'll solve all of our tie down needs with this truck. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. Again, tune in next week for that install. But yeah, like I said, today's the 4th of July, so I'm gonna go ahead and grill up some steaks, spend some time with my wife, with my family, with my puppy. Oh wait, before we finish this video, I do want to mention, we got the bumper brackets back in stock. Make sure you order fast because probably half of these are already sold. So get your orders in, and I'll get some more made. Anyways, thanks a lot. Again, leave a like, leave any comments, and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you guys on the next one.